everybody.
Yo, what's up? I'm actually in the frame this time.
You're damn right he is. We're here for the Wrestling Through the Years podcast. It's just the Hummer Boys today. E Nasty's under the weather. I think he's in the comments section. We wish him a full recovery, and we're praying for you, brother. We love you. I wish I could kiss you on the forehead right now, but I don't want to catch whatever you fucking got. But I hope you feel better, right?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, that doesn't give a fuck, but I can't. But we're here for the Wrestling Through the Years podcast. A hell of a top 10 tonight. We're doing our top 10 most underrated heels of all time. This is one that me and Doug are really psyched for. We love you too, Eric. Thank you. And we're going to go through our top 10 most underrated heels, the guys who we think are good at being pieces of shit, just real assholes, but they don't get enough credit.
Pieces of shit.
But I don't think Vince is underrated. But so we're going to go through our list. First, like every episode, we're going to start with our workers of the week. Who did we think killed it from last Friday till this Friday right now? So last week's SmackDown, of course, counts. Who was the shit last week? We had Bad Blood. Grand Slam was the week before, right?
Yeah.
So we had Bad Blood. We had a lot of good stuff. You and me watched a lot of current wrestling. Who is your worker of the week, Doug?
Sheamus, because of the Donnybrook with Pete Dunne Monday night.
Hell of a match.
That match was fucking awesome.
That was the tits. I really liked that one.
Yeah.
I thought it was very good. I thought both guys worked their asses off. I'd almost go. Did you say Sheamus?
Yeah.
Because I'd almost go Pete Dunne. I wish he would have got the win because I thought it was a really good one for him. And I was excited to see Pete Dunne maybe go over, but Sheamus is always a treat, and I do like watching Sheamus.
Well, I think this is the end of the feud, and Pete Dunne did get a couple of wins on. And Pete Dunne has gotten over in this feud. So,
okay, so there you go. But it was a great match. Yeah, I really liked the dynamic.
This was the way to end it, though.
And they've been doing good with the gimmick matches lately, which is going to lead me to my next one. Oh, Eric's is The Rock. That's his work of the week. The Rock showed up at Bad Blood. It was a big moment. So there you go. And I can see why that would be. That was a huge moment.
Yeah.
I thought Bad Blood was fantastic. Hell in a Cell was great. CM Punk and Drew did their thing. The tag match was awesome. But I will give it to last week's SmackDown because I thought two ladies really fucking knocked it out of the park with a special match. WWE brought back the dumpster match, and I'm going to have to go for Chelsea Green as my worker of the week because I thought she did such a – and I almost went Meechin because she finally got a push and she finally got a W because poor Mia Yim has been treated like absolute ass cheeks on the main roster. And she never Bad Blood was okay. Hell in a Cell stole the whole show. Both women's matches were awful. That's definitely a take. Bayley and Nia was not great.
Yeah,
100%.
And as far as the Raw women's match goes, here's what happened. The finish was botched because Raquel Rodriguez came in too early. And when she came in, she hit Rhea, and she did it in front of the referee.
Yes.
And referee Dan Angler knows that wrestling fans can be quite mean.
Yes.
So he's just like, all right, I see her doing this. I got to ring the bell. So the finish was she was supposed to attack Rhea and then put Liv on top. Well, she did that, but the referee had already rung the bell. So it made Raquel look like an idiot, but she was just doing what she was supposed to do in the finish. But the issue being,
yeah,
I
was a little higher on the finish was weird and it looked weird. I didn't mind the match. I thought it was fun and it had some fun stuff, and I liked Dom in the shark cage. And I liked her going full like kendo stick thing on him, and her doing the whole birthday line, and because I like how they danced around like making a piñata joke because Dom's Mexican. And today's day and age, that's important. And I was waiting. I was like, because in fucking 1999, King, they stayed up there like a piñata. They would have done that. So I thought credit for Dom for doing that stunt. I completely agree. By the way, Elite Doc, when he's streaming, you got to watch it. Probably my favorite video game player to watch, and a friend of the show. But yeah, that match was fun. But yeah, I agree. The ending was botched.
Yeah.
But on my point on the dumpster match, it's such a fun match type for women. especially a heel character like Chelsea Green that's all prissy and better than you, and like she definitely cares about how she looks and how she smells.
Yeah.
So the whole gimmick of fucking putting her in the dumpster and then her walking through after, and everyone's like, and fucking it just worked, and she did such a good job at like putting that over. And the fact that her and Meechin both went in the dumpster, but Meechin came out and then she had nothing on her, and then Chelsea came out and she's filled with corn and shit.
Yeah.
I agree. She does deserve a push. I will completely agree with that. And I think she's kind of getting one little bit. Doing these stunts is getting her over. Because the women's Royal Rumble match, or no, the women's Money in the Bank match, when she took that big like that was her big. She had the big move, the big thing of the match. That was the big set piece, and that was her. And like this with the dumpster, she's really carving her own lane with what little bit they give her.
Yeah.
And Meechin was a good baby face to go against. Meechin didn't have much like crowd behind her when she first came out, and by the end of it, they're fucking cheering for her, and they're like that was a expertly done dumpster match. And I thought both ladies did a great job. But let's move on to our top 10, Doug.
You ready for this?
Yeah, I think I'm ready. Yeah, I'm definitely ready for this. I definitely think. Ooh, we got a lot of Chelsea fans. Eric loves her. Eric's a fan. But I do think, Chelsea, I think she's got a bright future, and she's doing all the right shit. She's a good heel. I think she's going to end up with the strap on her at some point. There's just so much. It's a claustrophobic division. Not claustrophobic. It's a saturated division because you got Jade and Bianca. It's the tag champs kind of waiting in the wings, and you got Bayley and all these girls. But I think you'll see Chelsea with the strap at some point. She's Dan Crush. It's a huge poster on his ceiling right next to Diddy's. I like that one. I had a Kelly poster in my room back in the day. I was a huge fan of Kelly. Don't have Chelsea Green. I definitely don't have Diddy, you fucking asshole, but that's funny. Let's move on to the top 10. This is our Wrestling Through the Years top 10 underrated of all time. He remembers the Kelly poster. Everybody does. If you took a black light to that thing, it'd be outrageous.
Did I buy that for you? Or did it come out of one of my magazines or something?
It definitely came out of a magazine. I ripped it right out of that motherfucker. Yeah. But she was a gorgeous young lady. And I think she still is. But here's our top 10 underrated heels of all time. This is one I've been looking forward to. I really like my list. And I'm excited to hear yours. So
here we go.
I'll let you start it off. Who is your top number 10 underrated heel of all time?
Mike Awesome. And the reason why
I had to put that one.
Yeah. And the reason why it's Mike Awesome is because he was that monster heel in ECW. He was a champion.
Yes.
He came into WCW and he was he was a very good heel then too. But then when they made him the baby face and they made him the fat chick Thriller and they made him the that 70s guy, they just let him be that monster heel.
Yes. WCW fucked him.
That is throwing people from 10 feet into the ring to outside the ring through a fucking table.
Well, the poor guy, he was a menace in Japan. He was presented great in ECW. Paul got it. But then you go to WCW and you put him in Vince Russo's creative. And then that happens. And then he comes over with the Invasion and he doesn't get treated with respect because he's just one of those guys in the Invasion.
Yeah.
So he never really got his due, but I completely agree. He was an underrated monster heel. And his matches with Spike Dudley, with fucking Taz.
Yeah.
Then they go at it.
Masato Tanaka, which were legendary.
Oh, his shit with Tanaka is like 5-star. But Mike Awesome was a damn good heel.
Yeah. I remember talking to Rod Price one time because Rod actually got to work a TV match with him.
Oh, okay.
Right.
What did he have to say?
And I asked Rod, I said, well, what are your memories of that? And he said, he goes, nice guy, sorry he passed away and all that. He goes, but I did not want to take that fucking table bump.
Yeah.
I don't think he used the F word or whatever. Or he might have. I don't know. It's on record somewhere. But he's like, I did not want to do. He said to Mike, he's like, I have a bad neck.
Yeah.
I can't. He goes, if you want to put me through the table in the ring, that's fine.
Yes.
I'll do that. But I'm not taking your bomb from in the middle of the ring to outside of the table. And Mike's is like, okay.
Yeah.
And so I don't even think he pinned him with the awesome bomb. I think Mike was just like, all right, I'll hit a splash. And he did.
Yeah. All right. And I completely, and no one looked more badass with a mullet than Mike Awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And that ECW theme song he had, the Gladiator.
Yeah. He was presented the best there.
Yeah.
What I will say is he always had it, and it was just bad creative. My number 10 is somebody, I don't know if she's that underrated, but I think she's underrated enough because I think she's the best member of her family, what she does. I'm going Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah.
I think she's the best McMahon heel. Yes, the Mr. McMahon character was great and the shit against Steve Austin, and we all remember it. But there was no better C word in wrestling than Stephanie McMahon.
Right.
And whenever she got her comeupping, she always got the loudest crowd reactions. When they're chanting all sorts of infamous stuff at her, and when Jericho comes out and calls her the trash bag hoe, and it was Stephanie was the best at being such a bitch. And when she got hers, you loved it. And that is what a great heel is to me in my head.
We got a first-time chatter in the chat room. Kenny's in there.
It's always good to see my boy.
Always happy to have him around. But I mean, obviously he agrees with your point.
Well, yeah. I think she's really extremely good at what she does. And I think she's so good at it that she gets that like heat to where it's like they don't want to acknowledge how good she is.
Yeah.
But she really is like the best. She's the best McMahon. And I love Shane's baby face, him flying off shit. But there's something about Stephanie coming out there and slapping somebody, or the way she likes her eyes and the way she gets her face, and she's like, ah, she's just like her dad. So, Jesus Christ, Eric was always sticking with that dick. He's a horn dog.
Yeah.
But I think she's a really good heel that maybe doesn't get enough credit for how good she really is.
Yeah, Eric's unfiltered tonight, but I think he's unfiltered because he knows his mom can't come in and yell at him because she doesn't want to catch what he has.
He's a sick guy. All right, number 9, Doug. Who is your number 9 heel of all time?
I don't know. I'll let you know.
Your number 9 scumbag.
Luna Vachon.
Luna Vachon.
Luna Vachon, and here's the funny thing with her. She came in at WrestleMania 9 as Shawn Michaels' mystery second. She beat the hell. It would help if I'm in the camera. She beat the hell out of Sensational Sherry there. And then, she's Bam Bam Bigelow's main squeeze, and she was around I think she was around for a few years, and then she left. But when she came back, she was with Goldust.
Yeah.
Had the feud with Sable, was part of the Oddities. And Luna just was nuts. And her best work was always as a heel. She could never be a babyface.
Oh, yeah. No, I thought, as a babyface, she didn't work. I even liked her with Goldust. I really liked her stuff with Goldust. And, she was the believable, because that's an era where you got Sable, you got the tits, and you got fucking Terry Runnels and the Cat, and all these sexy, sexy chicks. And then you got, like, a badass, no offense to Luna, and I love Mad Dog, but kind of, like, ugly-looking, like, brutal chick that can really, tear some ass. And she was believable. She was tough. And she's one of the better women wrestlers that doesn't get her credit.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I really like Luna. I think that's a good pick because she doesn't get her due enough at all. I don't think people talk about her enough. Fucking Kenny. No, I'm not posted. Yeah, I am. There you go. Real quick. My number 9, and this is one of my many hot takes because people don't like this run and people don't like that this turn even happened. I'm going Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Right.
1, because Stunning Steve and the Hollywood Blondes was really good in early WCW, and he was doing really good heel work there. And ECW, when he was kind of developing that badass character, he was a good heel there. And then fucking in WWE, yes, that is an anti-hero, like babyface character against Mr. McMahon in the Attitude Era. And I know WrestleMania 17, the fucking Mecca, Icon versus, well, that's the next year, Icon versus Icon. But Austin and Rock, the biggest you could ever get. And everyone remembers that heel turn at the end, and they don't remember it fondly. Him shaking hands with Mr. McMahon, it shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But the role that he put on, people forget that after that is when we get what? And that shit. And understand, oh, that's a good. Hope he isn't on your list and I ruined this. No, he's not. Undertaker didn't make, but did he make yours?
No.
But yeah, Undertaker is an underrated heel too. That is a good.
Especially during that run.
Yeah. Ministry of Darkness is fun. I don't love that run because of Vince being the lead of everything.
Yeah.
That twist kind of sucked. But the Ministry of Darkness and stealing Stephanie and all that shit, it's like, But he was a good heel. I thought Undertaker was
the chat room's pretty active tonight. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah, we got our homies. But who was it? Stone Cold. Stone Cold, that was the what stuff.
Yeah. Like, yeah, later on that year, yeah.
Yeah, and fucking, what? And yes, the crowd still loved him, but I liked him as a part of WCW almost, and like him, and like that's when he was doing the shit with Kurt too.
Yeah.
Like he was still funny and likable, but as a heel, and I know maybe that's not what a heel should be, so that's not good. But Stone Cold, I don't know. Everything he did worked, and I don't think that stuff didn't work. You're damn right, brother. We support you too, brother.
Yeah.
It's a good man right there. But this is how, Stone Cold, I don't know if everybody would agree with that, but to me, he is an underrated heel, and especially for the WCW stuff.
Yeah, and that's like his WCW stuff, the run with the Hollywood Blondes, or the run where Colonel Parker's his manager.
Yes.
All that stuff is Kenny even just said it. What?
Kenny loved it.
But damn right, you better support us, Eric. But yeah, no, Austin as a heel, he was a very good heel. He hated being a babyface, by the way. Like when they said, "Oh yeah, you're going to be a tremendous babyface and all that," he said to JR, he's like, "Go fuck yourself. Like, I'm not being a babyface." And then what did he end up being? I mean, he ended up being an anti-hero, but everybody loved him.
Yeah. And he was right. Yeah, he's right. Austin was. Can you think of a comedic heel before that? That was really. I mean, Flair, I guess, because the Space Mountain
comedic heel.
Yeah, maybe.
As far as like goofy gimmicks, though,
who's a goofy heel besides Austin?
I mean, Berserker. He was not.
Yeah, but he wasn't over like that.
No, he wasn't over, but he was still a comedic heel. Because it was a goofy gimmick.
It was goofy. Yeah, but it was just stupid. Austin was the shit. I think our boy's onto something there. Who's your number 9? Or number 8? No, it's number 9. Yeah.
No, I did my number 9. My number 9 was Luna. My number 8 is.
Yeah, you went first.
Yeah. Earthquake. And
Kenny's a little Jimmy fan.
Now, Earthquake is my number 9 because my number 8. Sorry. I'm confused. Who would have thought?
Yeah, it's 8.
All right. But it's Earthquake because of that heel running, especially like when he first came in and he was like the insurance policy for Dino Bravo.
Yeah, dude.
And he interfered in every single fucking one of Bravo's matches. To where it's just like, Gorilla Monsoon would always say, Earthquake doesn't have a manager's license. All right, well, then get his fat fucking ass the hell out of here. Well, tell him there's a Pizza Hut truck outside.
The big thing that got heat with me as a little kid watching back, that motherfucker killed Damien.
Yeah.
He killed the snake. They plopped this big ass out of Snake, and he killed Jake Snake, that piece of shit. That's Jake the Snake Roberts.
Have you ever seen like the full, like the full segment?
Yeah.
So like when he tied him up in the ropes, which was Jake's idea, by the way.
I love that.
All right, because
that's what Jake did to Randy.
Well, because they were going to be. Well, he did that to Randy like later on in the year.
Yeah,
and
it works.
Yeah, because and I haven't seen his dark because they did a Dark Side of the Ring antenna, and I don't know why, because he was the.
I love John Tenta.
Well, because John Tenta is like one of the sweetest guys on earth.
Yeah, Earthquake's the shit.
But they did a Dark Side of the Ring for him, and Jake,
that was even a sweeter episode though.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen it yet because it's not on like they're on like Hulu / Disney Plus.
Yeah,
which who would have ever thought Dark Side of the Ring would be on Disney Plus? But but that season hasn't been added on yet. I can't wait till it is because I want to watch all 10 fucking episodes.
Well, he was a perfect heel for Hogan in that era because you needed a big man heel. He was perfect for that. And then the natural disaster just gave him a whole nother element.
Yeah.
And getting Typhoon in there.
And then, but the big thing about the Jake angle was Jake basically told him, because they're like, all right, we're going to knock you out to the floor.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to switch Damien. He goes, what about tying me up in the ropes? And Earthquake is just like,
make him watch it.
And Earthquake's just like, are you okay with that? He goes, yeah. He goes, you'll get more heat that way. And then
Jake knew the business.
And then the referee was going to try to fucking, the referee was going to try to untie him, but Jimmy Hart was going to tackle the referee to the ground and sit on top of him until Earthquake got done, which that just got more heat on Jimmy Hart.
Yes.
And it's just like you see and the referee's just kind of just like, and by the way, the referee was Earl, because it's always Earl.
Yes.
The referee's just kind of just like sitting there because, if the referee will squirm, Jimmy Hart will get knocked off of him. And basically anybody could beat the shit out of Jimmy Hart.
That shit works so well.
Yeah. And
it works so well.
I'll tell you another big moment where Earthquake got a lot of heat. Obviously, the stuff with Hogan.
Yes.
But also, too, you can't really forget when he debuted as he got pulled out of the crowd. Eric's plugging tomorrow. God bless him. He's plugging my cartoon show tomorrow.
There goes the tits.
Yeah.
Listen to that.
Yep.
Doug works very hard on that shit. It's very good.
Yeah.
It's very good stuff.
Thank you.
I'll be tuning in.
I hope so. It'll make me feel good.
Well, it's good stuff. You do good.
Well,
You're a great cartoon, and I'm excited to hear your top 10 or top 20.
Yeah,
it's going to be a big one. More Earthquake.
So when Earthquake debuted, and they did the thing where he sat on Bravo's back and did the push-ups, and then Earthquake was gonna.
Our boy.
Yeah.
We gotta get Doug in Japan.
Yeah. Oh shit. So then, Earthquake sits on Warrior's back, but then just starts jumping on him, right? And that was the way to get him heat. And even like this, the stuff in, being the Shark in WCW.
Yeah, after Earthquake, not great.
Yeah,
because you go from Shark and then he comes back and he's Golga in the Oddities, and that's more of a babyface role. But that was some weird shit, and he just had that Cartman doll.
Yeah,
but then he wrote Wrestle Crap after that.
Great book. Great.
And he had like a whole website. Wrestle Crap was like a whole thing.
Yeah.
So I like Earthquake was always awesome.
Well, he wrote the foreword to Wrestle Crap because he gave all the guys.
He didn't write the book?
He didn't write the whole book. The guys who had the website wrote the book.
Oh, yeah, because he did the foreword on Golga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did the foreword, and he's like, you know what? I've been involved with some bad gimmicks in my time.
Yeah.
And he could laugh about it.
Yeah. All right, you ready for my number 8?
Yeah.
I have somebody that I think has always been one of the best technical wrestlers and very good on the mic, and he only really works at a heel role. And this isn't underrated because he's like a really good babyface. I just think he's an underrated guy, and he's a good heel. William Regal.
You butt fucking son of a bitch.
He's on your list?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's my number 1.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. I'm sorry. I didn't know that.
Well, because we don't share this stuff beforehand. It's like, oh, we want to surprise each other. All right. Well, unfortunately, we think alike because we're together 20 out of the 24 fucking hours of the fucking day.
Well, John likes it.
Well, yeah, it's a great pick. It would have been a great number 1.
I'm sorry. I think William Regal's fucking awesome. Yeah, he's number 7 because there are, to me, there's better heels and more underrated heels. But he is an underrated guy in general. Like I remember the 2008 run when he became King of the Ring, and it's like, this guy might win the world title. And then, shit went down or whatever. But he's always been very, and in the early 2000s, whenever bad shit happened to him, when Jericho peed in the coffee, he was, when you're talking comedic heels, there you go. That's a good response to the comedic heel question with Steve Austin, because his stuff with Tajiri was hilarious. And he was technically a bad guy, right?
Yeah.
So
he was the evil commissioner.
Yeah. And he had funny stuff going on. So he was a comedic heel. And he did a lot, and he was a good brute heel in fucking WCW. He's always been a great worker. He's always been good on the mic. He's always been a good dude the way he carries himself. I always thought he should have been at the top of the card a little more. And I remember that one Raw we were watching when it's like, it was going to be Austin and Regal in the main event. It's like, oh, God, Regal's getting the main event. This is awesome. And then Austin beats the shit out of him and he doesn't make it. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
it happens.
I at least thought about him. I can't remember if I actually put him on my list. Let me check. Doink didn't make mine.
No, he didn't make mine either.
Okay.
I mean, technically I have an opening, but
well, Matt Bourne could be your first one. Yeah, Doink, Matt Bourne was tremendous.
Yeah.
Evil Doink. Even though I do like babyface Doink and the Dink.
Yeah. that stuff was pretty cool, though, too.
But the bad guy stuff was the best Doink. And that evil cloud thing, it almost can't, it was, eerie. And it was very underrated time. And it was new generation, so people just thought wrestling sucked. But the evil Doink was very good, actually. I agree with that. Number 6, Doug.
7.
Okay, number 7.
Bam Bam Bigelow.
Ooh.
And
That's
because
a great pick.
he's not, when they tried the babyface run in 95 with him after the corporation stabbed him in the back,
Yes.
it didn't work.
No.
So,
Making a new number 1?
yes. But he was just, he was such a good bad guy heel, and he didn't always need because he actually could cut a promo.
He was a big, tough, athletic motherfucker. He main evented a WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That's what everybody forget, him and Lawrence Taylor. He main evented a WrestleMania. I agree. I'm really liking your list. You have a badass list.
So do you.
And
I mean, even though you fucked me.
I'm sorry. but Bam Bam Bigelow is a tremendous heel. And the work he could do, he was that ultimate big guy. I think I don't want to bring another guy that comes up in mind like when I think of him because he could be on both of our lists. But Bam Bam Bigelow is one of those big guy heels that does not get enough love. He is on a big guy Mount Rushmore.
And the funny thing is, in one of the more underrated moments, I think, for him was his feud with Tatanka.
Yes.
Which they finally got did the payoff to that. 6 months after they started the feud, 3 months after the feud was over.
Yeah.
Because they had to it's not all about you, Eric.
He's used to fucking you.
Yeah. That's all he does. But fucking him and Tatanka had a match at the 94 Royal Rumble, which finally was the payoff to the feud.
Right.
And it was supposed to be Ludwig Borga wrestling Tatanka, but Borga destroyed his ankle in a match with Rick Steiner. But when they started that feud, it was Tatanka was sticking up for Sensational Sherry.
Yes.
And then Bam Bam Bigelow beat the shit out of him and cut the red mohawk.
Oh.
Okay. After doing that, then they had this feud, and it was supposed to set up mixed tags with Tatanka and Sherry versus Bam Bam and Luna.
Yep.
But Sherry, I believe it was a contract situation.
Yes.
Something like that. And she actually went to ECW.
Yeah.
Which they were just starting up at the time. So and WWF business wasn't that great anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And Vince was starting to get rid of a lot of the a lot of the people that have been there for a while anyway.
Yeah.
Because I think like right after Sherry left, I'm pretty sure Duggan left right after.
Yeah, I think he did.
Duggan left right after. Tito Santana left right after. Hogan, they had vamoosed Hogan. So it was, a lot of those people were, and then a lot of those people that were still staying because they felt like they had value,
yes.
like Savage, he got fucking reduced to a commentary role.
Yeah. He wasn't happy about it.
No, but no, Bam Bam Bigelow, like that feud with Tatanka, that was great. And even like some of his heel ECW stuff, like the stuff with Taz.
And the stuff with Spike.
Throwing Spike in the crowd.
That's one of the most memorable moments as a wrestling fan. I remember watching that on the Rise and Fall DVD and be like, "Oh my god!" Like Bam Bam was the shit. I was always a fan. All right, my number 7, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me. I have my second and last female on my list. I have Vicky Guerrero. I do not. When you talk about, maybe she had go away heat and people just didn't want her around. But before we get into Vicky, that's a great pick. Christian is a great heel. He is a tremendous heel. He is not on my list, and I know you're not a fan, Doug, so he's probably not on yours. But Christian, especially now with the dads, and even though it pisses a lot of people off, but we got mixed thoughts on. He likes it.
I think
Ken thinks she's ass. She did have go away heat, but a heel gets the loudest reaction. I remember a 13-year-old Hummer watching WWE programming, seeing John Cena in the ring, and her coming out, excuse me, doing her thing, and they wouldn't let her talk. Like how Dominic is now, that's how she was. She wasn't able to speak because people were making such fucking noise and boo, and they hated her so bad. That is a tremendous heel in my book. That is someone that gets the most heat, the loudest reactions on the show, and that was always Vicky. Whether people really hated her or not, and I know there's thoughts on her in real life, but how as a character, I thought she was tremendous in getting that heat. Did I want her off my TV sometimes? 100%. But I can recognize a good heel when I see one, and I think Vicky was.
Oh, she was an excellent heel. Because she had that same kind of heat that Dominic has now. Eric's is like, Christian would have been on my list. Yeah, well, you're not on the show.
Yeah, don't get sick, you bastard. Chris Jericho's a good pick too.
Or stay away from people that are contagious.
I don't think he's that underrated in my book. He might be a bit overrated, to be completely honest.
Yeah, no, Jericho's not underrated.
I love him, but I don't know about underrated. The pig match.
Oh, the hog pen match with her and Santino and Drag. That was fucking hilarious.
It was.
Do you remember the setup?
Yes.
So the setup, obviously when Vicky won the Mr. WrestleMania crown or whatever, and then there was a mixed tag. It was Santino and Mickey James versus Chavo Guerrero and Beth Phoenix.
Right.
And Mickey actually pinned Beth. Because Santino would not get every time Beth tagged into the match to attack Santino would tag it. So Santino was still playing the chicken shit, even though he was a babyface.
Yeah.
And then Mickey beat.
We'll get to that comment after.
Yeah. Mickey beat Beth.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, like Santino got to pick the stipulation for the match between Santina and Vicky at Extreme Rules. And he's like, how about the hog appender match? You're going to be with the pigs. And I'm like, well, that's how he sounded.
I know. All right.
I'm pretty sure I just offended every Italian that watches this.
It'll be okay. No, they never turned him heel, and Thugonomics was okay, but I go back and watch that and cringe at that shit. His bars were ass.
And then JR ruins it by going word to your mother.
No, he made it good. But John Cena, I don't know about an underrated heel. Maybe if they ever really gave him that shot later on, but that never came. My turn, right?
Yeah.
Number 6. Number 6.
Yeah. Or no, hold on. You just went because you had Vicky.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about the pick pad match.
Yeah. So my number 6 is he's in the Judgment Day now, but he is a very underrated heel because he could be a dick. Carlito.
Oh, yeah. I spit in the face
of people who don't want to be cool.
I'm not going to lie, though. I saw the video the other day of NXT and him spitting the apple in Heath Slater's face, and it brought me joy for some reason. No offense. I know he's got kids. No offense to Heath Slater, but
I got kids.
But there was something about him getting that apple spit in his face, and Carlito was like, hey. I just walked away. I kind of fucked with that.
Yeah. Carlito wouldn't even finish the season over in NXT. He's like, fuck this.
Yeah. Carlito was the tits. I always liked him. I thought he was a good heel. I know that there was complaints about him getting lazy and shit, but I always liked Carlito. And I thought he did get massive heat. And that apple, that got heat in its own right.
Yeah.
He was so good. And he was the perfect foil for John Cena on SmackDown.
Exactly.
Early on.
That's true. Brock Lesnar did say he didn't care about his kids. Eric might have finally got one right.
Yeah, bad news.
Yeah.
Bad news is an underrated heel.
Yeah.
I agree.
But no, with Carlito, like that first night when he beat John Cena for the U.S. title, which I don't even know why they gave John the belt back if he was only going to hold it for 3 days, but
yes.
And then, somehow being involved, like John Cena gets stabbed in a nightclub and everybody's looking at Carlito. Yeah. You got the charger?
Yeah.
But
yeah, Carlito's a good pick.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, he's more the comedy heel now, but he was a great
But he's had a career resurgence now, and I like the whole with Liv Morgan and stuff in the nude pictures with Dom, and he's like, "That's cool." Shit like that. I think he works in the Judgment Day, and the fact that he kind of has a main event spot again is a goon. Like he's in like the top story. He's a goon, but he's still there. Like Carlito's kind of he's back, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Looks pretty hard to me.
That was hilarious.
And they're just like Carly,
and then they're always like Carlito, like after. Like it's hilarious. He is always there to make a one-liner, and they're always funny.
Yeah.
I
wish I could learn something from him.
You got good one-liners.
Well, thank you.
My number 6 is somebody that's been called dry a lot, but I think as a heel, he actually does some of his best work. Bret Hart.
So his stuff, and I know a lot of people shit on his WCW run, but he was the ultimate heel in WCW, especially like the way he would lie and connive and all that shit.
Yeah, and I know, the character they did nothing with him. I thought the heel stuff worked, and having the plate with Goldberg when he speared him and he had the metal plate under the hockey jersey, that was perfect. I thought that Bret Hart was a tremendous heel, and of course the stuff to call, and even like the El Dandy. Who are you to doubt El Dandy?
Yeah,
but I think most people will call to the Canadian stuff in WWE. And in the Hart Foundation, that heel run before, the Montreal Screwjob, we all remember it. But the year before, Bret Hart was a really damn good heel. And when he worked in the States and he was a heel, and then he'd be beloved in Canada, that gimmick just worked.
Yeah. Our mommy approves of your pick.
Thank you, Bob. That's fucked up, Sean. That's funny. He's talking about
oh, Jesus Christ.
He said it was all to hell. But
Mom, walk down the street and kick his ass.
But Bret Hart I thought was
or have Kenny drive you.
I thought Bret Hart was tremendous. I thought he did a great job. And whatever, he could be a little bit of too much of a white meat baby face and not engaging, but as a heel, I thought he was good. And him coming in, because he truly hated Shawn Michaels. So when he would cut heel promos on Shawn Michaels, they were just so funny because he fucking hated him.
I don't even think I could say the one promo that he's most known for when him and Shawn were talking the night after Bad Blood, and he called Shawn a certain name, and he's like, and the guy next to you is also that certain. I can't say that, right?
Say it.
The H word.
Oh no!
Yeah,
no. Yeah, that was funny. He was calling him. Yeah, he was calling him all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That we can't say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he basically said that he had homosexual tendencies. But I
There, we just said it.
that's fine.
Not. By the way, it's not even spelled that way.
Jesus Christ.
That's that newfangled education.
Sunny days. Yeah, that was Sean being a dick back.
Yeah.
But trying to fuck up his marriage. Old Sean on the Somas. But still a
He's
tremendous...
just a Soma boy. Soma boy. Hey. Hopefully that doesn't get copyrighted.
He'll take your push away.
Push away.
He'll take your payday. But no, but Shawn Michaels is a great performer too. Bret Hart.
See what happens when we're on here by ourselves.
Yeah, now we're never getting NXT now. Fuck. But listen, I thought Bret Hart was a tremendous heel.
Yeah,
and I thought whenever he got to be a dick, he was good at it. So number 5, halfway there. Whoa!
Oh. All right, so you had Vicky Guerrero earlier, and number 5, I have Chavo Guerrero.
Ooh!
And I picked him over Eddie because Chavo to me just seems more dislikable and was better because Eddie could make it as a babyface too.
Yes.
Chavo had a lot of trouble being a babyface.
He was only good as a heel. He was a good... Him doing the ungrateful like nephew and then bringing in... I know you have your thoughts on Bob Orton for Randy. I think Chavo Classic was pretty kind of constitutional for Chavo's success.
Yeah.
I thought it really meant a big deal to have Chavo Classic in his corner. And him, like, that Royal Rumble match with Eddie and Eddie finally getting his fucking comeuppance on the kid. And, like, Chavo was just, and that Cruiserweight Championship run, he really made that mean something in WWE.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't like, and they went too far, and obviously they did push, and, they did pull it back a little bit. When he did the Kerwin White stuff and he was all against...
yeah, he was it was a racist gimmick.
Yeah.
They were making a Mexican a white
Remember
racist.
when he did the thing to Shelton Benjamin? He goes, if you ain't white, you ain't right.
Yeah.
And everybody just looked, they're like, oh. And then like he had to change it to, if you're not Kerwin White, you're not right. And it's just like you're putting him in a
racist
program,
and he's a Mexican
with an African American. By the way, he is Hispanic, which by the way is not white. For anybody keeping score at home.
And that was one of those things when Eddie died. He was like, "No, I'm back to being a girl."
Yeah, exactly.
And as it should have been. Just like when Dusty passed and Cody was like, I'm being Cody. And they're like, no, you're Stardust, bitch. He's like, all right, well, fuck you. I'm leaving.
You're back.
And it worked out for him.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Chavo was a very underrated heel. I agree with that pick.
Yeah.
All right. Number Fizzy for me. And now it's time for Eric to come. I got Bryan Danielson.
Is an underrated heel?
Daniel Bryan, that run with the plant title and the hemp belt and him as like the organic champion and him with Eric Rowan by his side, that really had me for a while.
Yeah. By the way, somebody over there just kind of threw up in their mouth, and
I know she's not the Daniel Bryan fan, and that's fine. But I thought
she doesn't lead the fan club,
and that's okay. But she did root for when he won the title though. So, but at AEW, but I thought that he was a great heel for what he was doing. And I thought it was something different that we've never seen before. He had a wooden belt instead of the real WWE champion. He had a wooden fucking belt. He had a hemp belt.
Yeah, the hemp. Yeah.
And people and it got real heat. And he got like death threats from it, apparently. So like I thought he really, and that's when he was really stomping on guys' head. I thought that was a good move, especially when he did it to Kofi in the chamber. And that was such a good story for Kofi to win. And I remember Kofi in the build-up, and he's like, you know what's happening because you've had a movement like this and you're scared of this. And then Kofi beats him at WrestleMania. That's such a good run for me. So I had to put him on this list. I thought, well, at least I got Eric's love. But I think that Bryan Danielson really proved something with that heel run. It was a weird time. I was waiting to Brianna. He was being a little feminine.
What? Sean thought there was going to be a sex change on there.
It was like China and Jericho. Dude, I'll never forget JR. He just became a broad. We know what you mean. Kenny spelled horror wrong, so it's okay. Yeah, I thought Bryan Danielson was very good in that role.
I mean, they all went to Newfane, so it's kind of...
Number 4, who do you got?
That's a good question. Let me look it up and I'll tell you.
Let's find out.
Yeah. Lita.
Ooh, that's damn good. She had nuclear heat.
She had nuclear heat, and here's the thing. She had nuclear heat because of a real life situation. Now, nobody is saying that you should be with a guy that you don't want to be with. If you want to break up with somebody,
yes.
Jesus Christ. No, we're not putting that up. We're not featuring that. Jesus Christ, Kenny. Get us kicked off. I mean, I almost got fucking beheaded earlier by a bunch of people on Facebook for comments that I made about Big Brother, which I will not get into because we don't need the International Women's Organization knocking on the door.
Jesus, not fucking shut. Well, that's what people were chanting, though. That's what people were chanting. They were chanting the S word, and they were slut shaming this woman.
Yeah.
And in today's day and age, and like looking back on what that woman went through, and she had her dirty laundry aired live on television
and thrown out by Crime Time.
That's true. So she went through a lot of shit, and I do feel bad, and I'm sure that's a very traumatic time for her, and that sucks, and I really do feel for her. But as a heel and as the Heat, the crowd was chanting every fucking week. And when she made Edge Edge became a superstar because of her. So, like, she really had a lot of impact on the business. And with that, and that was such a big run. So I think Lita's a damn good pick.
Yeah. And again, like I was saying before Kenny fucking floored me with that comment.
Yeah.
You should not have to date somebody. Like, if you want to break up with somebody, like, that's fine, and then date somebody else. I would not recommend starting to date that somebody else back, in the back room of the church at the other guy's wedding.
Yeah.
I would not recommend that.
Well, I'm not here to judge anyone's life decisions.
Yeah.
I'm not here to fucking.
No, what I'm just saying is that, like, people that did judge it, like, yeah, she, it did what she did, but she shouldn't have to, she shouldn't get, fucking, like, shamed because she dumped Matt Hardy. Yes, she went with another guy, but Edge is just as guilty. Edge porked another woman on his wedding day that, by the way, was not his wife.
I know. But and their personal shit aside, I don't really give a as far as and the fact that Vince looked at all that, he's like, "We got money, pal."
Yeah,
he's like,
which was horrible, and it was like, because I don't think Edge really cared because Edge was getting the rated R superstar stuff over, but it's just like Lita's just like, all right, they hate my guts.
Yes,
and she tried to make it work.
She did make it work.
Yeah.
That's why she earned a spot on your list. I thought she was a good heel.
Yeah.
And like when Matt Hardy lost in that ladder match and she's making out with fucking Edge and she's sitting there and she's like, and she wrapped him up. Like, that's such a cool move that she had him tangled up. This chick to fuck you over. She's screwing you over this match and she's making you leave the show. That was good storytelling. And, as bad as you felt for Matt Hardy, that's a heel doing her job. Mm-hmm. So I thought Lita was very good. It's a good pick.
Thank you.
My number 4. I have somebody who seems to be at the twilight of his career and maybe on the way down. I have the phenomenal one, AJ Styles.
Oh, for a minute, I thought you were going somewhere else. I was going to hit you.
Okay. I thought that AJ, he only works as a heel nowadays. I think he's I think he did a great job, especially when he beat the shit out of Shane McMahon when they did their program at WrestleMania. And there's just in the Undertaker Boneyard match. AJ's just good at being that, like, especially when he's got the OC behind him or the club, or like, he's just a good bad guy. And he's good at, like, he's a good heel promo. And when it was him and John Cena, and he's like, I'm here fighting every day, and you're a movie star now. You're everything that you talk shit about The Rock. You're a changed man. You're a piece of shit. Like, he was really good on the stick by the time he got to WWE. In TNA, he was probably better as a babyface. But in WWE, I think he really only worked as a heel. Because I don't think he gets the really good reactions that a babyface should get. As a heel, I think he does. I think he's a great working heel.
He is, and that's where, like, especially in TNA, like this fella
he
here.
Was great, but you loved him. He was a great babyface in TNA.
Well, when he did this stuff, like when he was with Flair and, kind of doing that, and he was the...
because the stuff with Christian, he was just an idiot. I didn't like that. But they made him look stupid. But the Flair stuff, when they put him in a dollar store robe, it was okay. And I thought he was a good heel. But I thought he really refined his heel work. Yeah, and Fortune, the new Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
It was good. And I loved AJ, so I loved it. But I think he really became the heel that he was supposed to be when he got to the WWE.
Oh, definitely. And when Gallows and Anderson came with him,
the stuff with Cena just made him and then becoming a WWE champion, fucking over Dean Ambrose. And I don't know. I really like that run. And like 2016, 2017 WWE was weird, and it was a weird time, but I thought he was a good champion.
He was definitely a bright spot.
He was a bright spot. Good babyface too, but I really like him. I think he's an underrated heel.
Yeah.
Number 3, Doug. We're getting close here. We're cutting nut hairs.
Jeff Jarrett.
Double J. Slap nuts.
Yeah. The fellas are adding.
All right. Well, let's talk about theirs real quick.
Aces and eights bully. I mean, I agree with that.
Any bully Ray.
Yeah.
Bubba Ray and ECW is just as good. ECW Dudley Boy, when he was spitting on people in the crowd and he was like talking about fucking their mothers and stuff. Bully Ray is one of the most. I don't know if maybe he's not as underrated in my head because I see him as one of the greats, so that's why he didn't make my list. But I can see why he would be on. Yes, I agree. I think he's a very good heel. And Aces and Eights was good in TNA. TNA, he really hit his stride. They let him be a main eventer and like laying out AJ and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. You met her.
I did meet her.
Yeah.
I met Brooke Hogan.
He's talking about Brooke Adams.
Oh, I did meet her.
Or Tessmacher.
Oh, yeah, at that TNA show.
Yeah.
And Kevin Owens is a good pick.
I like him better as a babyface, though.
Yeah, but he's a good dickhead.
Yeah.
And Kevin Steen's always been a good dickhead. No, I like him better as a babyface. I like him better doing cowboy shit.
Yeah. All right, so Jeff Jarrett's my number 3. Shut up for now. Not you, Sean.
No, Sean's great.
Yeah.
No, we love Eric too. Keep him coming. But go ahead, Double J.
So it's just like when he got smashing a guitar over somebody's head, he's always been better as a.
I agree.
Is true.
I would drink her bathwater. I agree. I'd suck a fart out of her ass with a bendy straw. Go ahead.
Good Lord. But no, it was like.
Yes,
slap nuts.
Don't piss me off.
Yeah. And then like when he would just go around and just swing the guitar, and then like he became like the chauvinistic pig and like putting every woman he could in the figure 4.
Yes. But slapping people with the guitar is the only, and slap nuts is the one thing I'll always remember about Jeff Jarrett. And Beetlejuice and fucking Beetlejuice and WCW.
Yo, Beetlejuice, what's up? Hey, slap nuts. What'd you call me? Hey, slap nuts. You're slap nuts. And then he just whacked him right with the fucking guitar.
And then you get the payoff in the fucking match later on.
Yeah, when he nut punched him.
He slapped his nuts. I always thought that Jeff Jarrett was. I think as the country singer, it was almost insufferable. But later Attitude Era WCW Jeff Jarrett, I thought is really underrated.
Yeah, his WCW stuff, even like 96, 97, when he was so desperately trying to be in the Horsemen.
Yes, and his TNA Reign of Terror is better than Triple H's Reign of Terror.
Oh yeah,
and it's more fun to watch. Him beating like Monty Brown and those guys were a lot funner than Triple H fucking jobbing everybody out. Samoa Joe's a great heel, and he only really works as a heel. I agree. Is it my number 3?
Yep.
I have the man that came out with the perfume called Arrogance, one of the better heels who I think doesn't get his name. Is he in the Hall of Fame yet?
Who's that?
Rick Martel.
No, not yet.
Well, he should be. Him with the arrogance perfume and he's another guy in the golden era that really hit his stride. I liked him in Strike Force, the tag team with Tito, but when he turned heel, he really hit his stride. He was a good babyface in the AWA and stuff, but he was a really good bad guy.
When he did the model stuff.
Yeah, Rick the Model Martel.
That was fantastic. He sprayed Jake in the eyes with the arrogance and all that.
He could have. Was he Intercontinental Champion?
No,
he could have been.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised he wasn't.
He damn well should have been. I don't know about main event because that was hard, and I don't know if he's just believable against Hogan. He would have been a good main event for Macho Man, but
Macho Man and Brett.
Oh, he would have been great with Brett. But Rick Martel as the Model, I thought was a fantastic heel gimmick that he would, as the arrogant douchebag has been used so much, but I thought he had this in the French Canadian, he had the whole persona to him, and he really.
And when he was able to spray guys in the face with the arrogance,
yeah, and he had perfect charisma to go with the gimmick, so I thought it worked on all levels.
Oh, me too. That's a really good pick. I almost thought about picking him, but I decided not to because I knew you were gonna.
Well, I'm glad you did.
I mean, if I would have known you were gonna fuck me,
then... William Regal. Well, my man. All right, who's your number 2?
Yeah. British Bulldog. I already know that because I already looked at that.
Explain, because I like him way better as a babyface. This is the only one I don't really agree with yet. So
okay, when he turned heel in '95, when he hit Diesel with the shot, and all that, and then he was managed by Jim Cornette, which I thought was like a perfect fit because even though Davey could technically cut promos, having Cornette as your manager was really good for him.
Yes.
And then he was a threat to the WWE title and all that, and had really good matches with Brett. I don't care what anybody says. I actually did like the match between him and Nash at that October in Your House.
Yeah.
Then the stuff with Shawn Michaels where Diana Smith, she had major heat too because she's Shawn, I know you want me. It's like, bitch, you need a leash around your neck.
You're the Bulldog.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a pretty good heel.
Yeah. And then the stuff when he was part of the Hart Foundation, obviously. And to me, it fit. And I really think he was an underrated heel.
I almost agree. Especially seeing that flag match the other day. And him and Owen were really good together. He was a great
They were probably the best as far as teaming together goes, of everybody in that group.
I mean, they made fucking, what was those guys on Raw? Doug
Furnace and LaFont.
They made those guys look good.
Yeah.
I remember watching those old Raws from '96 and be like, oh my God, they're pretty good. All right. My number 2, we're moving along here. I have one of my childhood favorites, and I thought when they finally let him become a bad guy after his big babyface run, he really fucking hit the nail in the coffin. And then he ended up being the best actor turned wrestler, Batista.
When he turned on Ray.
I was heartbroken.
At that.
You bought it.
What was that, Bragging Rights?
Oh, I think so.
That was Bragging Rights 09, right?
Yeah. Was it a Fatal 4-Way or a Triple Threat with Taker?
Yeah.
What was it?
No, it was a Fatal 4-Way, Punk, Taker, and Ray.
Yes.
And him.
Yes. And I agree. Owen did take the foundation to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Owen Hart. But, I thought Batista was, extremely underrated. And when he fucking destroyed Rey Mysterio, they're supposed to be my friend. He beats the fuck out of him. And then he fucks John Cena over at the Elimination Chamber. And then they have a really good build. And then they have a good series of matches. The I Quit match was awesome. The Extreme Rules match was awesome. He had a good program with John Cena. And he kept putting Cena over. Yeah. That was one of my favorites to see Cena in. Cena did not always get over with me, especially as a kid. He was not my favorite. I was a Batista guy. But in that program, Batista was making me like Cena because he was such a good bad guy.
Yeah, and that the funny thing about that too is especially towards the end of the run, I remember he was supposed to have a match with Mark Henry two weeks in a row. And the first week, like, he attacked Mark Henry before Mark Henry could get in the ring, so he didn't have to have the match.
Yeah.
And then the second week, it was he attacked Mark Henry as Mark was going to the ring. Again, so he didn't have to have the match because he didn't want to get weakened up for Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
But he was such a good, like, that whole thing where the spotlight always had to be on him. And when he bitched about, I remember he got the promo. He's like, that world heavyweight title is mine. He goes, I don't care who the number one contender is. I'm going to beat the shit out of you so I can be number one contender.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck off.
It worked, though. And then when he came back with Evolution and the Blue Tista, and everybody hated him.
Oh, yeah.
It was a fun meme. And I've always thought he's been a good bad guy. And I liked the viral stuff with Triple H with, give me what I want. And he kept beating up poor Ric Flair.
Yeah.
I like Batista as a bad guy. And OG Evolution with him and Ric Flair. I remember they let him cut a promo, Royal Rumble 2004 on the Dudleys, and he came out and said, we kicked your ass last week on Raw, we kicked your ass at this one pay-per-view, and now we're going to put your ass through a table. And then they did. And it's just, he was a good heel. He was a really good heel. Batista's underrated. King Booker! I thought underrated as well. He didn't make my list. And I know
he definitely didn't make mine.
He is a good heel, though. And TNA sucked, but
yeah.
King Booker was awesome. Who was your number one? Drum roll.
All right. Well, it was supposed to be
William Regal. Who'd you change it to? We got SmackDown in a little bit. Let's end us out on a great note, Doug. Who's your number one?
Sid Vicious.
Ooh, that's a great one.
R.I.P.
Ruler of the world.
R.I.P. And here's the thing. They wanted him when he first came into WWF back in 91.
Sid Justice.
They were going to make him into the biggest babyface. And they're like, you're going to be the next Hogan. He goes, that's not going to work. He goes, nobody can be the next Hogan. He goes, let me be a heel.
Luger found that out.
Like, I can be a really good heel.
Yeah.
And he was.
He was a tremendous, and he was a great heel in WCW and in ECW. Wherever he went, he was the most believable, intense guy on the roster.
I mean, I also did like cheering for him because I'll always be a fan.
Yeah,
of Sid.
But he was like when Vader got replaced, and that was the big guy I was naming. I guess he didn't make either of our lists either. Vader's underrated as well. But when he kind of took that run away from Vader and went up against Shawn, I thought he was a great heel to win the WWE championship.
Yeah, even though he was getting cheered.
Yeah, and him beating up Jose Leflero and everything. And I thought he was great. I really like Sid Vicious.
The funny thing is, he did that thing at Survivor Series where he cracked Jose with the camera. He did that because he was getting cheered, and he's like, fuck, I got to turn myself into a heel. Yeah. All right, I'll attack a 65-year-old man. And after the match, they're still fist bumping him.
Yeah, they hated fucking Shawn.
Yeah.
but I thought Sid was a really good heel. That's a great pick.
Yeah.
Good number one, Doug.
Thank you.
You ready for mine?
Can't wait.
Drum roll.
I know you can't take any more of mine. I'm done.
Yes. My number one pick, I have the ravishing one, Rick Rude.
Oh, my God. How the hell did I forget him?
I think he should have been a world champion everywhere he went. Simply ravishing.
Yeah.
He was great in WCW in the early 90s. He was great in WWE. Thank you, Eric.
Technically, we're not done. He's still explaining his number one.
But I do think we did a great job. Yeah. Rick Rude was a tremendous heel. That upset on the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania. A great Intercontinental Champion. He could have worked with Hogan any day of the week. Like, he was just great in the golden era. He had the look, he had the physique, he had the charisma. Even when Bobby Heenan would manage him, I thought he was great no matter what you gave him. And then the fact that he's the man that was both on Raw and Nitro on the same night is cool. Him, like, even though he wasn't big parts in these things, but the fact that he was in the NWO and he was also in DX, like, that shit's cool. He was in NWO, right?
Yeah.
Rick Rude was the fucking man. But him in the 80s and, like, early 90s with WCW, he was tremendous. And I really think he is not only underrated heel, but, like, top 5 heel of all time.
Well, and
he never works as a babyface.
No. And, like, the fact that he did the like the whole thing with Jake Roberts and also the feud with
We'll air him after.
Yeah. And then like the stuff with the Warrior, and then obviously the stuff with Sting. And I'll never forget that Clash of Champions when it was Rude and Sting for the US title. And when Sting got beat.
Yes.
And Jim Ross was acting as if basically Sting was just killed in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh my God, this is tragic, just tragic." And it's like he just lost the U.S. title. He's gonna win something.
He'll probably win the world title.
Yeah,
He'll
and he did.
He'll be fine. Yeah, but Rick Rude to me is the top of the top heel.
He can survive getting beat for the U.S. title, especially if he's going to go after Luger in the world title.
He'll end up having a good career.
Yeah.
These are Sean's honorable mentions. Booker T, King Booker. Cody Rhodes is a good heel, and he almost made my list. Alexa Bliss is a tremendous female heel and one of the best. And she led that 2017, 2016 era. I thought she was a great women's wrestler. Bayley was awesome. When she made that heel turn finally, she ended up doing some of the best work of her career. Daddy Dom does get the most heat. I completely agree. Kurt Angle in TNA was fantastic. And even the Wrestling Machine shit in WWE and his Attitude Era stuff. Bobby Roode in TNA was very good. Team Canada, Beer Money, all that shit. The Beautiful People, one of the greatest heel stables of all time. I agree. Velvet Sky, Angelina Love, they were perfect. Very good honorable mention, Sean. I completely agree with all those picks. Joker Sting, he counts in Doug's book, but not in mine. I think that runs ass. But Doug has a soft spot for it.
But he wasn't a
heel. He was a baby face.
Yeah.
He was going against the establishment. So, Eric, go fuck yourself. And we'll end on that note. We'll see everybody next time. This was a hell of a list. Doug, I had a blast.
Me too. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing the show by myself.
Yes, cartoon.
Top 20 Disney cartoons of all time. Working on the list now. It will be at 7:00. Yeah, you're not going to be home, right?
I won't be home, but I'll try to tune in.
All right, cool. I might actually ask. Well, actually, no. I'll use the regular camera tomorrow instead of.
We'll get you set up.
Well, that too. Thank you.
Yeah.
But
make sure to check that out. Yeah. It's going to be a can't miss episode.
Yeah. So no crossover tomorrow. We're going to save that for when Eric shows back up to work next week.
Yes.
But we'll do a top 20 Disney countdown. I've been working on it all day. It's going to be it's going to be fun, and we'll see. Everybody's popping up. But yeah, so make sure you tune in for that tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Next week, what are we going to do?
Next week, we're spinning the wheel again. We're going back for the Lethal Lottery. I believe this is part 3.
Yeah.
And so we're going to hit that up. We've had a lot of fun with that, and we're going to keep that going. So the Lethal Lottery.
We got to listen to part 2 so we know who we already picked.
Yes. I have it written down. So Lethal Lottery part 3 next week. Make sure to check it out. It's going to be a fun one. We got the Stabcast on Sunday and the Bro Down on Monday. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time. Deuces.
Later.